So a few weeks ago, probably a few months ago by the time I get this uploaded, I was preparing for a friend's birthday party. Here's to you, Evan. And he's a beer-loving friend of mine. And so, of course, I went to go find him some beers. He, in particular, enjoys IPAs. Here, here. And so I went to Spud's, and I picked out... and I picked out the most interesting to me IPAs that I felt were something he might enjoy. And going by brand, going by style, that sort of thing. Brands I recognized, a few I didn't, but I'd heard good things about, etc. And of course, so I bought him 4 beers, and I had to buy myself the same 4 beers because, of course, you know, excuses, right? Reasons. The reasons we buy beer are myriad and often lies to ourselves. But this was not. This was real because I have a YouTube channel that needs content, darn it. So this is a new scene. I've officially taken y'all out to the woodshed. Yay! This is Wet Coast Brewing, not West Coast, Wet Coast. Though it is from Gig Harbor, so it is on the West Coast. Wet Coast Brewing Company's fixed the Newel Post Imperial India Red Ale. I love me some India Red Ales. I like the red ales because they bring an additional malty character. Maybe not quite as roasty as a Canadian dark ale, or Cascadian dark ale, but it's most of the way there. It should be, a highly hopped, but still with malty characteristics sort of beer, that sort of thing. Also, just before I started recording, the septic pumping company showed up at my neighbor's house. So if all of a sudden I turn green and run and the scene changes, you'll know that the aroma made it this far. That's part of why I'm recording on this end of my property instead of the other end. Anyways, India Red Ale. There's some real strong grapefruit notes to this. It smells juicy. So the grapefruit's mostly gone now, or I've acclimated to it. I'm sure I could bring it back. Oh, grapefruit's back. There is also a nice maltiness. It's a bread. Not sure it's going to go as far as being a brown bread, but it's more of a breadiness to the beer. It also smells sweet. I suppose being an Imperial, you have to have more malt, more sugars for the yeast to make the higher ABV. So that's pretty normal for an Imperial IPA, or IRA in this case. Oh, that's pleasant. I like that. Oh, and it goes places too. Oh. Yeah, so I'm not going to say the first thing is grapefruit, but it comes in pretty soon. The first thing is this really nice, what? It's a hoppiness that I am not able to identify. It's a juicy, fruity, floral fruity hoppiness. Then the grapefruit comes in, and it's like a really nice ruby grapefruit, which this is a perfect time of year for ruby grapefruits. So, yay. So the ruby grapefruit, and then you get this nice, the maltiness, but it's like a really strong cracker. Like, well, to the nose, it was more of just a general breadiness. Here, drinking it, it's a little more substantial. I'm thinking like a flavored bread from like Panera or that sort of thing. I know that's not the end-all be-all of bread quality, but there was that tomato loaf they had that I really enjoyed way back in my 20s. They had some deal where if you bought a loaf of bread, you got a loaf free or something like that. And when I was poor, I would do that to get my cheap carbs. I mean, it was probably cheaper to shop at Walmart, but my tasty carbs. And then definitely, you know what, the breadiness kind of fades into the Imperial sweetness towards the end there. And then there's a little bit of woody roastiness, not smokiness, but it's like there's a woody character and a slightly roasted character that are kind of finishing this. And then you get the really nice West Coast pine needle brush, juniper brush that finishes out and makes it a really, kind of wraps it up as a really nice Imperial IPA. I'm liking this. This is 7.5 ABV, so it's right at the bottom of the Imperial. I can't remember. Does Imperial technically start at 8? This might be cheating a little bit. No, I mean it's pretty small for an Imperial. It's not a 12%. It's not kicking your socks off or anything like that. Yeah, let's see here. FTNP gets punchy with its resinous pine and juicy citrus flavors and aromas. Oh yeah, okay, yep. Yeah, this is really nice. It really scratches the India Red Ale itch, right? It's got a more pronounced maltiness, which is what you want with your red ales, but it's got this very nicely dominant, strong, not dominant, but strong, very present, very on top of things, hoppy character. And it's definitely West Coast. It's definitely a West Coast IRA. I keep wanting to say IPA in my head as I begin the sentence. IRA, India Red Ale. And then I think possibly because it's relatively low ABV for an Imperial, the booziness, I don't feel like the booziness catches up, but it is definitely kind of sweet and full-bodied from that higher ABV. Yeah, that's quite nice. It's a good beer. Good job. Good job. Good job picking it out. Anyways, this is me, Matthew. I have been chewing the brew, drinking and enjoying Wet Coast Brewing Company's Imperial India Red Ale, fixed the Newel Post. And I'll catch y'all on the flip side.